there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Hey, what's up? This is Elle from Cultus Black, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father. And as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. And today it's an honor and a huge privilege to welcome Elle. He is the vocalist of Cultus Black. Cultus Black have released their second single and video entitled Killing the Beautiful. And their very first release is also called Nevermine off their debut album. And I suggest you guys and gals to check this out because this band is really good. And again, I'm not saying it because Elle's on here, but I interviewed Elle a long time ago, 2019 actually, and like this band ever since then. And they got some really good stuff out, folks. So don't sleep on this band. I'm telling you right now, check them out. So Elle, man, how you doing? And welcome back to the podcast.
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
Doing good. I was like, good God, I'm glad you guys got some new stuff coming out. And I was like,
yeah, us too, believe me. We were talking a little bit before we started here, and I mean, we've been sitting on material, music, videos, and all kinds of stuff for a minute, and it feels really good. We're all happy to start releasing stuff for sure.
Before we dive into this further, but how difficult is this for you guys right now to be like, okay, we got to wait longer to get this out? I mean, how difficult is this right now?
I mean, it's definitely difficult. It's kind of an ongoing thing. It's like, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. We keep thinking we're going to release, the album, for instance, and then it gets pushed back more. And, it's just like anything in the music industry and in life, things come up. And as we all know, it's been a really tumultuous few years here. We tried to launch the band right before the pandemic hit, so that kind of screwed us. We couldn't tour. We had booked a tour with Head PE that got pushed back 3 times. Everything's been up in the air. But then we were trying to shop to different labels, and no labels wanted us. We had a few that were interested in us, but they said we needed to change our image, and we said no. And then we had others that said we just didn't have a good enough social media presence. We didn't have good enough numbers. Basically, they want you to do everything for them, and then at that point, why even bother with the label?
There you go.
So we just, we're like, okay, so we're going to do it on our own, but we need a good platform to launch from still. So that was going to be the Static X tour that was supposed to happen earlier this year. And that ended up getting pushed back to next year. So the album also gets pushed back. We're looking for another tour, basically, to launch the album with. So a long way of saying, yeah, it sucked. I know our fans and our audience in general, have been very patient with us, but are really wanting something to come out as far as the album goes. And we're right there with it. Like, we want it to. It's just finding the right timing to do it. And, like I said, things keep changing, but it's coming. It's really finished. Like, the album's done. We've even got artwork for it and everything. It's not pressed yet, but it's done for the most part.
Man, I'm going to tell you right now, as a fan, and I've known you since 2019 and like what you've done so far, I'm telling you right now, do not change your image. Do not change this band whatsoever.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't plan to. If any changes that we do are going to be strictly for our own artistic wants.
Yes.
I don't plan on changing anything for the sake of getting on a label, because it's just, then they're not interested in us. This is what we are.
There you go. Yeah, it's like, I'm not changing just to please you. This is us. Either accept us or not. That's plain and simple.
Yeah, there was one that said that they really didn't like the cult vibes of the band and they thought it was too much. And, if we would drop all that, then they would, no, I mean, that's kind of the whole thing, it's Cultus Black. That's what it is. It's a cult. Like, what do you want me to do?
Long live the horror, my friend.
Yeah. And I think, did we talk about last time about the horror thing? When you say that, it reminds me of,
I think so.
With, I had, did a hashtag of horror and I got a thing it was on Instagram and it was like, please seek psychological help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? Seriously.
But in retrospect though, man, how excited are you guys to have these two singles out right now, Killing the Beautiful and plus Nevermine? How excited are you guys to at least have these?
We're stoked on it. I mean, Nevermind did really, really well. And, I mean, it's still out there, but we kind of switched focus to start pushing Killing the Beautiful. But Nevermind was kind of the first single that we released at the beginning of the year here on our kind of release schedule, because that's what we're building to. We started releasing material now. So at least that should put everyone at ease that the album is coming, because we're releasing stuff now. We're building towards the album. Like, it's in progress. But Nevermind was the first one. And to us, it was kind of the one that would be the most, I guess, radio friendly, for lack of a better term. It's got the best hooks in it and it's more accessible. So we figure if we drop that, it's kind of like you're going fishing for people. You drop some bait in front of them, they get that, and then they get into the deeper, heavier shit. So we put that out and it's done really well. We are at 50,000, almost 51,000 on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's got like 40,000 on Spotify, which, those numbers aren't like crazy, super huge. Like, you can find bands, of course, that have bigger numbers. But the thing that we're really proud of is that all this is organic and that we are doing it the right way. There's bands that'll, have bots for views, and you can tell when you look at their engagement. Like, you have a band that's got 200,000 views on their video and they got 10 comments, like,
yeah,
it doesn't take a genius. Like, that's not real. But, with us, our ratio of engagement to views is pretty good. Like, we feel like when we get our music and our imagery in front of the right people, the people that like this kind of thing, that they like it. Like, generally speaking, most everybody that I put it in front of, that, of course, I'm not going to people that are like country music and stuff like that, but anybody that's into this style of music is into what we're doing. We feel like, I don't know, not to toot our own horn, but we're doing a pretty good job, as far as knowing our audience and reaching that audience and giving them something that they will actually enjoy, So we're pretty happy with that. The Killing the Beautiful video is doing the same thing pretty much that Nevermind did. It's getting a little bit of a slow start, but it's building and building and building, Also, something that's kind of hindering us with Killing the Beautiful, which is, again, the same thing that we run into constantly. We run ads, again, to try to reach people, because these days you can't reach people unless you pay. Like, literally, even if, like, on Facebook, for instance, even if people like your page, they still don't see your stuff unless you put money. It's just so stupid. But we're trying to run ads on YouTube, and we got flagged again for what was it this time? Possibly disturbing and triggering content.
Stupid.
Which, Killing the Beautiful, like, the video is pretty tame. There's nothing in it that's like crazy at all. But there's the only thing we can figure that got us flagged is the video. If you've seen the video, I'm sitting in a chair and I'm watching a TV, and on the TV there's like shots of it's plastic surgery is what it is, but it's like kind of gory, but it's only for like a split second. We think that's what did it. They're like, oh, nope. Again, it's stupid, but that's slowed us down a little bit, but it's not going to stop us. No. We're still going to get out there to people. It's just going to take longer, but the video is doing well. We're happy with it.
Have you thought about just releasing all singles, then releasing the album, or just a couple of teasers and then get the album out possibly?
We again, it kind of depends on what our
Okay.
tour schedule looks like. You know,
Okay.
if we can find a really good tour, you know, in the fall, then we will release the album then. You know, if not, then we're gonna have to release another single before we get there, because now that we've already started, we got to keep the ball rolling. And we do have at least one more music video that we're sitting on. So we have that, and we're supposed to be shooting another music video within the next month or two. So we've got one more that we can release before we release the album if we have to. We'd rather go ahead and release the album and maybe release that single alongside the album. But either way, you know, we have options. We can either release another single or we can go straight to the album. Either way, we've got 1 to 2 more that we can drop. So
now I know you have these other options for songs that could have went out before Killing the Beautiful, but what made Killing the Beautiful the one that they had to be the second one? So no, let's do this one instead of these other ones.
It's well, to be honest, we wanted Killing the Beautiful to be the first one we released actually.
Really?
As a group, like that's what we had kind of decided on. And our manager said it should be Nevermine. And we just, you know, we went with what he said because we didn't really care one way or the other. As long as they both come out, you know, it doesn't matter too much to me which one. But ideally, I liked Killing the Beautiful because I felt like it's a good mixture of what we're doing. But I understood what he was saying about trying to set the hook. So we went with Nevermind. But Killing the Beautiful, to me, kind of encompasses everything that we do as a band because it's got heavy elements to it, like pretty heavy elements to it. And it's got a nice clean vocal hook as well in there, which I pride myself on. And it's got really cool imagery. You know, it's kind of the whole package of kind of what you would come to expect from this band, you know? So I just wanted to do that one first. It's kind of like, here you go. This is kind of what we are, you know? But I know my guitarist really likes the opening guitar lick, like for that song. So he always talks about that in particular as like his favorite riff that we have on the album, you know? So he really liked that, you know, so that's one thing. Then for me, and I like the visuals too. I just think that video is really cool. We did it in a abandoned castle here in North Carolina, believe it or not, that exists. That's a thing. But Mount, I forget the name of it because it's been a minute since we did it. It's like Mount Rouge or something like that. Anyways, it's an abandoned castle. Yeah. And there's a whole story behind that, which is kind of cool. Am I getting off subject? What were we talking about? You said why this one?
Yeah,
right?
You're fine.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, all those reasons. You know, I like the visuals. I like the lyrics. I think it encompasses everything that we do kind of as a band. So, you know, I felt like first or second, that was an important one for us to get out, you know, in the forefront.
Was the castle haunted, man?
No, not haunted, you know, wish. But, you know, take your wins and losses. But it's actually, it's kind of a funny story because it's an architect / sculptor from the area that had done a lot of like big sculptings and stuff, statues for Duke University, which, you know, is a prominent university around here.
Oh yeah, sure.
And he decided that he wanted to make this crazy house that was like a castle, and it's based off of like, you know, the European castles and stuff. So he just made this wacky house, and you know, he got like about halfway done with it and just quit.
Huh.
And so it's like been sitting there for a number of years. So it's just kind of dilapidated and just a really cool, it's very unique. Like it's not like anything else you're going to find around here. So when I was looking for locations, I found that. And I was like, that's badass. Like we need to do a video there, you know?
Yeah. Killing the Beautiful was produced by multi-time gold record recording artist James Wisner, I should say, from Under Oath. And also the video was done by Jaden Frost. How was working with both of these people on this, man?
I mean, they're both awesome, you know, and we've been really lucky in finding people to work with that really kind of understand what we're trying to do and, you know, have kind of become part of the cult, you know. We go back to the same people over and over, you know, and Jaden there that you mentioned that did the music video, he also did the music video for Nevermine. And he has a slant towards horror sort of things, and so he really gets what we're trying to do, and it's a really good working relationship that we've established with him. So that's fantastic. We love working with Jaden. With James, like you said, he's gold record, recording mastermind. Like, he knows what he's doing clearly. So we went down to Florida and worked with him, and I have to say, he's another guy that's like, sometimes you think maybe people that are pretty far up the ladder, have a great deal of success, can be, difficult to deal with, but he's not at all. He's extremely down to earth, like really, really easy to get along with. His bedside manner is great. And that's something that I really value in a recording engineer or producer. Because I mean, if it's not the most important thing, it's damn close to the most important thing. Because I've worked with guys that are just a nightmare, and you can't get anything done. If they're super difficult to get along with and want to be combative, it just makes a terrible atmosphere. You're not going to make good music,
So does he know what buttons to push to get that extra effort out of you on vocals?
He does. Yeah. No, I mean, he's really good. And there was even in Nevermind specifically, there was like one line. It's in the chorus, and now I forget exactly what it was, but it's like just an enunciation thing that I was singing it one way, and it's such a small thing, but these little things make a difference.
Oh yeah.
And he suggested a different way to enunciate it, and it just made the world of difference, because it sounded kind of like I was tripping up on the line a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't real. The enunciation wasn't really clear, but the way he described it to me, a way to do it, perfect, and then there's like another track, which we haven't released yet, called Venom, which I actually have Venom behind me here, if you can see, but the corner of him.
Yeah.
But a song called Venom, and I always hated the chorus on that song. Like, I hated it, but I knew it had potential, but there was just something not jiving with the chorus. And at the end of the day, it was just, we changed something in the drums, the way drum beat was done, and it just completely changed the whole feel of the chorus. And that was Wisner. Like, he's like, I played it for him. I'm like, look, something ain't job. I don't know what it is. Help. And he was like, listen to it for a minute. He's like, hold on. He went and sat behind the kit and played. And he's like, that's it. Like, perfect, fixed. It's just that knowledge and experience is very valuable. And yeah, he knew how to bring things out in the music that maybe we didn't see before, or, as an outside ear. So yeah, absolutely.
I know these are your babies, all, but any tracks standing out more to you than any right now that you could talk about or you want to talk about?
Lorelei, the song Lorelei, which is going to be the next music video we shoot. And I have toiled over this music video for a while now, because it's where I wanted to do something different with it. So, every music video we've done so far has had performance elements, like the band performing. I want to do one that's strictly storyline. There's no performance, because, I like to keep things interesting, and I like to keep things fresh, and I don't want to do the same music video over again,
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so every video we've done, which is expected of a music video, generally speaking, is there's performance aspects the bands play, but let's do one where there's not that, So which means we're also going to have to find a couple of actors, which we've been talking to a couple of people, but it's first time for me working with actors. So, that one to me is definitely, the whole thing's a labor of love, but that one in particular means a lot to me. It was the first song that was written for this band. So, and I really like the hook, the lyric content is something that is kind of close to me. And so I like that one a lot, and I'm excited to bring that together and be able to present it to the world.
It kind of sounds like it's a new chapter on this album for you guys. It's like stuff we did before, never changing it up big time. It's like different endeavors down the road.
Yeah, and that's what I said, like before, when he was like, "Don't change the band," and that's what I meant. It's like we as an artist, I'm always, creating and coming up with ideas. but I never want to do anything specifically for somebody else. It's not something I believe in, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, we the core of what this band is, to me, is pretty much always going to be the same, but there's going to be moving parts around it, you know, because we're artists, you know, and a lot of times I have told people, and I hope it doesn't sound like, you know, uppity, but to me, I'm more of an artist than I'm a musician. And, you know, I feel like there's just the only difference there to me is just kind of the way of thinking. And I just feel like my mind is kind of leaning more towards art than music per se.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a very fine line. Yes, I'm a musician, but I just feel like my mind works more like an artist, you know?
So were there any tracks that didn't make this album we could see on another EP down the road or another album down the road, maybe?
There are 2 that didn't make the album that we had that, you know, could have been on it. Mm-hmm. And we are already working on more music. We have, I don't know how many new like potential songs, but particularly there are 4 that are like on the forefront of, and I don't want to say the guys' names because we don't use names, we use the letters and everything. But, you know, we actually have 3 guitarists that write stuff in this band. And between the 3 of us, there's 3 of them and me, there's 4 songs, and they're all pretty fucking good. Like, I'm stoked on them. Like, we're still basically a lot of the time, the way that we write and the way things come out is the guys will present me with something, you know, like riffs or whatever that they've written. And then I'll take it and kind of put it in Reaper or whatever, and I'll play Tetris with it. And I'll move this part here and move that part there and stretch this part and shrink that part and, you know, kind of put something together the way that I see it and the way I would feel like I would want to do it lyrically, you know, or vocally. And we've got 4 that are in that process right now that I'm pretty excited about. I think that they're all over the place. Like, there's one that is heavy as fuck. Like, it's super heavy. You know, possibly heavier than anything else we've done. And then there's another one that is kind of in the vein of Nevermine that is like really could be like a single, you know. And it's still got a dark quality to it, which is something that I always try to keep. I'm like, we can do stuff that has, you know, a commercialability about it, but it's still got to be dark. Like, it's got to have that. There's a vibe, you know, that we bring out that has to be there. Otherwise, it's not a Cultus song, you know.
Yeah, so, you got to stay true to your own taste of music. You can't stray away from it. I know what you're saying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when writing your lyrics, though, when do you say, okay, let's not go the horror-related route or any type of route, or can you do that, or do you just let the lyrics write themselves, if that makes sense?
Oh, man. Writing lyrics is, it's always been kind of hard for me. Like, writing anything is. And I think, you know, I don't know if it's like just being a perfectionist or if it's just, you know, I don't know, low self-esteem. I don't know. But I am very painstaking about writing lyrics and writing music. You know, I'll basically sit there and just bang my head on the desk, you know, like trying to get it out of my head, you know, and but it does come from a place of wanting it to be good, you know, like I try and make a lot of effort towards writing lyrics that mean something to me, you know. And if it doesn't mean anything to me, then I don't want to do it.
Sure.
So that is sometimes difficult to kind of get at the root of what is something that really means something to you and figure out a way to present it so that it's not so direct. Because another thing is I really like for lyrics to be kind of open-ended to a point or have dual meaning so that people can attach their own, you know, emotions and their own feelings and their own experience to the lyrics. So letting it write itself, not necessarily, but I try to write things that I believe in, that I feel some kind of way about, if it's something that had happened in the world that I am pissed off about, something that happened in my personal life that I'm pissed off about, something that like a tragedy, like a death in the family or something like that, like
Sure.
whatever it is, like I really try to write things that have some meaning.
Here's something I just thought about, and I can actually see Cultus Black doing this because it's got that horror-esque dark black, veil behind it. What about have you thought about doing a concept album maybe down the road, possibly?
Man, we thought about all kinds of things. To be honest, we were thinking about doing a movie too.
Dude, there you go.
Yeah, we've been talking to Jaden about doing a movie, and that was his idea, actually.
Yeah.
He was like, man, what if we did a movie? I'm like, shit, brother, I'm down. Like, let's spitball some things. Because, again, him being, in that realm of horror and stuff like that, we've had kind of little rap sessions where we talked about lots of ideas. It's probably too much to even really try to get into, and it's not stuff that we've landed on what we're going to do exactly yet. But we've talked a lot about doing a movie, and then outside of that, we've talked about working on a comic book because we know comic book artists and stuff. So yeah, I mean, we are interested in expanding in all those directions. Again, it's also that goes along with the mindset of art. Like you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's the growth musically you've seen from yourself specifically working on this album and with this band, of course, if anything?
We've definitely gotten a lot tighter, and we have figured out how each other works, which is great. We've gotten to a point where actually one of the songs one of the guys sent me the other day, I said, this is good, I don't need to change anything. And he was like, what? Because I always want to change something. And I'm like, what do you want me to say? You did a good job. Like, that's great. I don't need to change anything. And he's like, I think I need to screenshot this. And it's like, but that just goes to show you that we're getting on the same page. Like he knows what I like, and we're able to work together in that way that we're meshing. Didn't need to change anything. So yeah, we're definitely getting tighter.
What's your thoughts on touring and getting back out on the road, man, to kick this off? Because I know things are opening back up a little bit easier now, but what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, we toured with Overkill and Prong. Was it last month? I guess it was last month. The time goes by and I don't know, lose track. But we toured with them, and that was great. It was about 2 weeks and some change, I think we did with them. And man, that tour was badass, to be honest with you. I don't know if you looked at it at all, but like some of the video and some of the pictures and stuff from that tour, like every night the house is packed.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
And we were playing venues like House of Blues and stuff, which honestly is the biggest venues I've played bigger, as far as like we did what was Ink and the Clink, which is now Incarceration Fest. And another band I played that's more people. But as far as like venues, like those are the biggest venues that I've played, those House of Blues venues and such like that. And they're packed, so I'm also pretty competitive, even if it's with myself, that I'm always wanting to do better, And so to be doing bigger things now than I have in the past is very gratifying. So being able to do tours like that with House of Blues and Static X would be the same thing. We're going to be in those same kind of rooms, So that's great. And we love that. Want to do more of that. We're talking about doing some other dates. I guess it's not announced yet, so I shouldn't say it. But we're talking about some other dates, which should be announced soon. But I won't say it yet because
Yeah, no problem. So, El, how big was Etzel Dope giving you ideas on getting Cultus Black off the ground, man? How big of an influence was he on this for you?
He's very instrumental in helping us get this thing going. I have kind of basically he's been a mentor to me, and he's been of immense value because he did help us kind of craft the whole notion of what the band's going to be, and he helped us get hooked up with TKO Booking. He helped us get hooked up with our manager, Larry, and you know, so on and so forth. Like he's just, you know, we wouldn't be on the Static X tour if it wasn't for him. You know, he's been really a great help. And I know that he doesn't really like his name to be up in lights at all, but you know, I have to give him props. Like he's done really good with this.
Yeah, you gotta give him his props, man. He's launched you guys, and for me, I'm glad because I like this music, and there's lots of other people who think the same thing, man. So keep going.
Yeah, for sure. And I have to, you know, give a shout out to Larry also. Larry Mazer is the manager that he put us in contact with, and he's done great with us too. He helped us get onto that Overkill tour, and he's helping us find others and kind of guiding us, you know. So he's been great. We love working with Larry too.
What do you hope everyone takes away while listening to these new singles or any of Cultus Black music in general? El, what do you hope they get from it when they start to sit down and listen to this thoroughly?
I hope that, you know, people recognize, you know, that we're trying to do something that is real and that, you know, it is its own thing. And we're not trying to copy anybody else. We're not trying to be like anything else. We're just trying to be our authentic selves. And, you know, if that means we're fucking painting up like weirdos, then that's us. That's what we are, you know? And, I've always loved theatrical music, and, you know, it is what it is. So I hope people see that as what it is, that it is an authentic thing that we love. And, you know, I hope people can find a way to connect with the lyrics and make it their own. And, you know, like I said, just really connect with it. I know I've had a number of people message me about the lyrics for Nevermine in particular, saying that they meant a lot to them. And that is, to me, some of the best, you know, the best thing I can hear from people is, you know, that the lyrics have connected with them in some way that's meaningful to them. Because then I don't know, it's a whole different thing than just like, oh, the music's cool, you know. It's like, no, but this actually meant something to them, you know. Yeah. So I really like that, to be able to reach people in that way. So, you know, I hope that people, you know, find their way to it and can connect with it.
Well, think about this, man, and that's going to be my next question. You are up there, you're speaking for people that can't talk for themselves, who want to express it, but they can't. You're getting to say those words that they can't express their feelings through your voice and your music. To me, that's powerful. And like you said, what has anybody come up to you and told you that face to face? What's going to be that reaction when they actually tell you face to face out on tour, man? That's going to hit you hard, probably.
No, I mean, it's happened. Yeah, for sure. It definitely has happened. And, you know, I don't sell things really. Like when I say that, it's a wrestling term because I like pro wrestling. What's up at AEW? Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I'm pretty stone faced about things, so I don't really sell things that much.
Yeah.
But you know, I think that's partially because I'm Capricorn too. But no, I absolutely appreciate that, and it means a lot to me. And you know, I let people know that. But yeah, I don't have big reactions to things.
You need to get Danhausen for one of your videos, man.
That would be hilarious.
It would be awesome.
I would love to work with AEW in any way possible.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen a number of people get to work with them. The guy that helps us and does a lot of our graphic design stuff, he's worked with AEW and WWE. He's like designed, you know, FTR, and they used to be, what was it? What were they in WWE? The Revolution? Yeah. Either way, he did their tights back when they won the world title. He designed the images that was on their tights and their t-shirts back then. And he's designed a bunch of stuff for AEW, different people. And I'm proud of him for that shit, because that's incredible. You know, envious as well, because I'm like, me too, man. Like, get me in there, because I love wrestling. I'd love to be able to work with.
I want to ask you that question before I get into my next one. So, was it Abstract Form that did that for you guys? Because
no, actually, we just recently met him and started working with him on some stuff.
Yeah, so he did amazing art for you guys. Let's talk about that, man.
Yeah.
Fan art for that. What was your when you saw that? What was your reaction?
It's badass.
Yeah.
And he had asked us beforehand because we met him at a show in Asheville, and he was like, "Oh, I'd love to do some work with you guys." I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it," And then he sent me that, and it's badass. I really dig it. We're talking about trying to use it, either printing on posters or T-shirts or something, because it is really cool. And of course, ask his permission. He's like, "Yeah, absolutely." He's like, "If you do it on a T-shirt, just let me have one." I'm like, "Yeah, of course."
I mean, yeah, what the hell?
Yeah. So
no, we're not going to do it.
And now can't have it.
Yeah. So there you go. Abstract form. I gave you a shout out, man. So there you go.
Yeah, man. He's a cool guy for sure. Yeah.
Does Cultus Black allow you to step out of a shadow and not be compared to? Is this? Let me talk about this a little bit. Does this a new chapter for you personally? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's kind of also partially what it was intended to be. Is this is my thing now, and I'll be known by the fruits of my own labor at this point.
Yes, sir. I know you've got a lot of music that you still listen to, El, but do you still have a go-to album, or maybe just a song that you find yourself gravitating back to and you have to listen to at least maybe once a week, twice a week, something like that you see yourself going back to?
I don't have anything that I like, any album or anything in particular that I have to listen to weekly or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But just in general, I always end up at some point going back to, I'd say Deftones and Nine Inch Nails, just in general, like a lot of their older material. And when I say Deftones, also Crosses. I don't know if you've ever listened to Crosses at all.
Yeah.
But I love their shit too. I just, those are bands that I will frequently go back and listen to, and it's a little bit outside of what we do, but, I'm very influenced by bands like that. And so.
I hope this doesn't happen, but I say eventually Chino will go over to just strictly Crosses. And
you think so?
I hope not, because I like Deftones. Yeah. I'm like you. I like the old school Deftones, Summer, of it, stuff like that. I mean,
that's good shit. Yeah.
Yes. El, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy these new singles, everything Cultus Black related. How can they do that, sir?
Well, we're on all the social media. We're on, it's basically just Cultus Black and everything. It's like, Instagram's at Cultus Black. Facebook is facebook.com, Cultus Black. If you Google us, you'll find us. We're on Spotify. Of course, we're on YouTube for the music videos. The music videos are pretty much exclusively on YouTube, which we did that just to kind of try to funnel people to one spot, try to get our views up into one spot. It's also easier. People don't have to search for it. They know it's on YouTube. So music videos are on YouTube. Again, just Cultus Black, and Spotify, Apple. We're all over the place. Just Google us, you'll find us.
And folks, when this post, I'll have all the links in this podcast, so that way you can find everything Cultus Black. Then you can't say, I don't know where to find them at. It's right there in the freaking post in the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, and I should mention too, we have a website, which is cultusblack.com, and our boy Joe set that up for us, and he runs the website, and he does a good job. So if you head over there, that also has all links, and you can buy merch and all that kind of good stuff in there.
Hey, before I let you go, would you care to do another promo for my show?
Oh yeah, sure. Hey, what's up? This is El from Cultus Black, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link and our YouTube link. And please, folks, I'm asking nicely to subscribe to our YouTube link, because we got a lot of stuff that's coming down the pipe. And plus, I think I do a damn good job on my interviews. Please
don't ask nicely. Tell them they're going to subscribe right now.
You're going to subscribe. You're going to like it. And I'll eat a bologna sandwich to everybody out there. And I'll give everybody a high five. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah, please, folks, get out and check out Cultus Black. You won't be disappointed. Check out these 2 new singles, Killing the Beautiful and Nevermine. I'm telling you, folks, you will not be disappointed. So, El, my man, you're always welcome back on here, and you always have support from me as well.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me on.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.